microphone. I believe you're familiar with these things.
Yeah.
Good. Oh, that sounds nice. Nice.
Should I listen to myself? No.
How you feel like?
I don't usually listen to myself. Yes. I know I have to talk close, and that's it.
That's it. Good.
Yeah.
All right, then we're good. I'll leave them on. No, fuck it up. No. It's always weird when one person's got them on the other. These are good mics.
Yeah.
And everything. So, we'll just dive into it. Hey guys, this is my next episode. I'm very happy to have Stig Rästa on here. Thanks for coming on, man.
Thank you. Thanks for having me.
I'm happy, because with this podcast, the idea is that after 10 years, I kind of know a little bit about comedy entertainment and how that side works.
Yeah.
But the rest of the stuff, if you're a musician, if you're an actor, I'm like, I got nothing. So sort of asking you about that, talking to you about the experiences you've had. And yeah, man, I really like your career because you've had a legit career in this country, and that is a rare thing.
Is it? I actually don't think it's a rare thing in Estonia because it's such a small country, and if you put your heart into it and you're a hard worker, then it's not that hard to make it in Estonia, I think.
Okay, yeah, I hear you on that side. Sure.
And you said you've been in the comedy business for 10 years, and now you somehow understand it a bit, right?
I guess so, yeah. How this...
I've been in the music thing for almost, let me see, I'm 40, about 20 years.
Okay.
And now I'm starting to get things, how the things are going to be in the music business, like in Estonia and in worldwide as well. Like now I get to understand a little bit how things work, if you want to make it or break it. Or
I see what you mean about Estonia. I guess my comment was more about how to say that you're doing great work, and it's a little bit easy, I think, in the small market, because everything in this country is filtered through the fact that we have 1.3 million possible customers, and that's it.
I don't actually think about customers. I think about you compete with people a bit, but you don't have competitive market in Estonia. Everybody knows everybody. Everybody's super friendly, and when a upcoming songwriter or artist wants to contact me, he writes me, and I usually read all the letters and I write him back.
Nice.
It's not that hard.
Yeah, okay.
It happens, and it's like really easy to. I don't know if I'm a starting out songwriter, and I want to write to Ivo Linna, who is a famous singer. I think it's not that hard for me to reach him.
Sure. That is a nice thing about Estonia. I think the trick with an Estonian taking a career in the entertainment business in the country is that you don't want to necessarily burn too brightly too quickly, because the road is short. That there's not a mega stardom. There's not a stadiums. Maybe, Dalgar can play this after a while. But he plays it once every 5 years, maybe.
But he's the first Estonian like an act or artist who sings in Estonian who but had his own concert in Saku Suurhall. Like he's the first one.
It's a tremendous example that it can be done.
And the Saku Suurhall has been there for 20 years or more.
It took 20 years,
Yeah. But if we're talking about Taukar, I know him a lot, and he's like one of the most hardworking artists in Estonia, who works really, really hard and knows what he wants. And it took him, I think, less than 3 years to get to the Saku Suurhall. From unknown to his own solo concert. So that's fast.
Yeah, and I've known him. I just met him a couple of times at gigs. We were both playing at, but I sort of know a few of the people he's worked with over the years. And good to me. It was like he's good management as well. That he had good people around him.
Yeah,
he knew
we
what
are
he wanted,
the people around him. Actually,
yeah,
we are the people around him.
Okay.
Me and my friend and our management. He's our artist. Actually,
that's right. What's the agency?
It used to be called like Star Agency and Star Management, but we're changing the name right now because Star Management is not the best name. Maybe
sure. Yeah.
It's so broadly used or so weird. So not weird, but we're looking for something different for the name. But
have you
we have a
name yet?
Sorry.
Have you come up with?
We have few names.
Okay.
But not sure yet.
Okay.
We have some names that don't mean anything, but kind of mean something. So we don't know yet. But we have a small management that manages like 2 artists, and we write songs and so on. So, and it's been like this with one band, Traffic, if you know.
Of course.
We've been managing them for almost 15 years, and Taukar is about, I don't know, 5 years or something. But what I wanted to say, the Estonian music industry, it's very good example. Like I found out recently, Victor Krohn from Sweden, he was here at the Eesti Laul participating.
I think I heard about it, yeah.
Yeah. And he has also participated in Melody Festivalen, which is a Swedish version. And one thing that he pointed out was that in Sweden, when there's this Eesti Laul thing going on, everyone's like competing to each other. Like they're like, hey, yeah, look at this dude. I don't like his song. I don't like his song, and I don't like you, and so on. There's a, I don't know what's it called, but in Estonia, everybody's friendly. Like, hi, hey, and nice. Authentic. Like, I really like your song. I don't like your song, and then it's authentic and so on. It's like totally different. When it's very competitive in Sweden, and it's very friendly in Estonia. That's also because we have so little people, or 1.3.
Sure, that we've got to get along. We've got to do this. We've got to... if you are a dick, everyone's going to find out real fast.
And there are some guys who are a bit of assholes, and we already found out, and we don't work with them.
Sure.
Yeah.
And because there's not the... Well, one of the creative decisions of Comedy Estonia that we figured out early on, that in this country, there's not mega bucks. No. I mean, you can earn a living, absolutely, be very nice, but there's not, some mega buck stardom. So, and especially, you've got a music industry, there's some established industry there, there's some method of sort of ascending the ranks a little bit, and you do this and you do that, possibly a little bit. But with comedy, there was nothing, zero industry in the beginning. And we decided that there's no millions to be made anyway, so we may as well just do what we want to do.
Yeah, of course. That's logical. And I still don't get those assholes where they know that there's no millions to be made, and they burn bridges with, like, for, I don't know, a few $100 sometimes. Yeah. And that's weird.
Sure.
Like, where do you get off, or how do you think even? It's like, it's weird, yeah.
So the agency, were you part of the founding of that? It sort of came together and you went, okay, shit, we need to help each other out, or we need to get some people around us. How did that form?
Well, I started out with these other dudes at first, a long time ago. Then I went to see with these other dudes, and then there was this dude, Fred Krieger, if you know.
I've heard of him. Yeah, I haven't met him, but no.
He owned a studio in the center of town, like very big studio and nice and everything. And I went to him at a party, and I said, like, hey, I have some songs. Would you mind listening to them? And he listened, and from that day on, we decided to go together. And that was about 15 years ago. And at first, the studio was like an open space where you can rent a room and everything. People came in, like, I want the studio for a few days. I'm gonna pay you X amount of money, and everything was weird. All the cables were missing, and microphones were missing, and it was like one big disaster. And then at some point, I said, like, maybe we should close the studio and do our own stuff only, because we already managed one band or 3 bands that were paying our electric bill, so we can stay there for free, like, or we can do what we want if we have the band who pays our electric bill. And from this, somehow we started everything, and we're still finding out what's the business model of ours, which is weird. But it's not weird, but it's really cool, actually. We don't have it, like, settled. Like, we know what we do, and we do it for, I don't know, X amount of years or 10 years or something, but we constantly seek to understand what are we doing there, actually.
I think that could be both. It sounds from, I would imagine, both creatively and also a factor of this small market. I mean, creatively, you guys want to keep evolving. We're not just doing the same thing over and over again creatively, but then also in this market, you do have to adapt a little bit, not stray too far within the boundaries of still where you want to be, but
You have
gotta
to
move a
adapt a lot, actually. I think for example, if I listen to the songs I made 15 years ago and what I make now, they're like so different, and there's no such thing that I only write pop music or well, pop music is popular music, but I only write rock music and I don't write this music or something. You have to adapt a lot, and we've seen some bands, you know, in Estonia that have gone pretty well and almost made it in the world, but then the music changed and they don't change, and that's it for the band. If you don't change with the music, then you're gone probably.
That's a very tough part of it.
Yeah, it is.
It's a bit about what you want to do, but also the market as well, or what people's tastes are.
Well, it's exciting actually when the market and everything changes. But if your band frontman is not a visionary or something, a strong person who says, "Okay, now we change the course of our music, we go with the flow," or something, we find writers everywhere around the world who bring in the new sound and stuff. If you don't change with that, then you're, I don't know, probably dead soon, I think.
And that makes sense.
Yeah.
So with the agency, it's interesting, right? Because for me, particularly because Comedy Estonia, to us, we are an agency. We're a talent management agency as well. We organically ended up like this, but I realized after a while we were essentially two things. We're a talent management agency, looking after the careers of our artists, guiding them, what's next, what do you want to do, and we put on events, and we're a promotions agency. It just so happens that our guys only appear in our events, but we can definitely split that down the middle. Is it, I mean, with this, how to say, I mean, I kind of know a little bit about how to grow a comedian. I understand what they need to do. They need to show up to open mics. They need to be, and not only just showing up and doing the shows. What we're very good at Comedy Estonia is seeing, have you got it? Have you got you could be dog shit, but have you got the something in there?
The people want to see.
The people want to see, or is there a drive or a work ethic, or just that you're a reasonable human being? I don't know, what are those early things when you're looking at a band and you're thinking, okay, I'm seeing some guys play, have they got something, they might have, you know, a possibility?
Well, first of all, we don't like the band concept is almost gone. You know, everyone's an artist now. There's only like solo artists who has musicians behind them. We look at that. We don't look that much of like how the band is doing, but when you go to a concert, you want to see the one dude or a woman.
Why is that? Is that an Estonian thing or something?
No.
worldwide?
I think it's like there are. Maybe it's an Estonian thing. I don't know, but you don't know who plays guitar in Maroon 5 or something, you know?
Sure,
probably. You don't know these musicians at all. You don't probably, you know one dude from Coldplay except for Chris Martin.
Yeah.
And when this guy walks up next to you on the street, you don't recognize him because you don't know him. So I think the main guy is the singer, and everything else is like has to be there, but it's totally changeable, you know, because which in some points it's a really crucial and hard thing. Like your bass player, you can change him anytime and nobody notices, which is a bad thing. but usually, it starts with an artist, and it starts with the songs, and then comes the band. Cool. So it's a crazy times, and plus you have these DJs, you know.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So
I've done
also
some gigs as a DJ, a few gigs.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, like 5 of them or 6 or something.
And were you not to say just playing songs, but you were doing some mixing, or what level were you DJing?
It's actually a really, really hard job.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody thinks that, like, you go on, you put play, and then you put stop, and that's it, right? And we even had a request to a party or some kind of event where they said, okay, can you come with your DJ duo? We need you to play one song, which means you push play, you turn a few knobs, and then you put stop, and that's it.
What was it? One of your songs, at least?
Yeah, of course. we released some EDM or electronic music as well. But DJing is when we have a set coming up, which is usually for 45 minutes to hour 20 or 90 minutes or something, the amount of work that goes before the set is crazy. We usually work 4 days straight from morning to the night to put
DJ
together.
set or a music band?
DJ set.
DJ set.
Yeah,
Okay,
just a DJ set.
Huh.
Everybody thinks it's just play and stop,
Yeah.
but it's really you listen to, I don't know, 500 songs, you put them together with your own music, and you have to pre-mix it and everything. You see what's going on there. You have to you know exactly where you punch in your next song, because if you miss it, it's gonna be a weird thing. People usually don't notice, but when there's other DJs on the audience, then they notice, there's something weird going on there. We call it traktor, which is when beat starts making tiga sound.
Yeah.
And to play it good, it needs a lot of work.
And is that a tough thing? Like if somebody wants you to do, hey, I need you guys to come and do the DJ set, and you're like, bro, that's 4 days of work.
Yeah, usually
You
people
know.
don't think about it.
Yeah.
But we have like, for now, we have 4 or 5 sets we have worked out, and we can go without this 4 days work. But usually we listen to the songs again. We say, okay, this didn't work. We need to skip that. We need to find something new. And plus on the stage, it's really hard. You have to like look at your players all the time. You have to do your stuff all the time. It's actually, there are a lot of people who don't know what they're doing and probably just push plays, and they have pre-mixes 5 songs together so they can drink or whatever, and they kind of look like they're doing something, but they're actually not doing something. But we've done it the hard way, and plus when it works, you get a real good hype about it yourself on the stage. Like you see the people going nuts, and it's a weird thing. I've been playing guitar for like 13 years in the band, like on the back there, but now the DJ thing is pretty cool actually.
That's a nice separate thing. I guess the process you described there of trying to create that DJ set and people not understanding, that I think is very similar to doing a comedy set.
Probably,
particularly
yeah,
a
of
private
course.
function. Because I think you're doing something tomorrow night where our guys are at.
Oh yeah,
There's
at
something-
Pärnu. Yes.
I think Pardon, yeah, and there was something we
Yeah.
needed to use your microphone, and
Yeah,
you were
I'm
very
gonna get a
generous to let
separate
us-
microphone for you.
You got a separate mic, of course, very clean, but you
Yes.
were nice enough to bring a mic for us.
Yeah. That's it. If you look at the comedy bits or what they're called, you think there's a dude on the stage just talking, but probably the amount of work that goes into before that people don't see is crazy, right?
There is, and even more so at a private function or a private party,
Yeah.
or not just the comedy club is very different to the company party or the
Okay.
event that, the private event that you might do.
It's like an act a bit, you know?
It is absolutely. By
Yeah.
the time at the company party, it has to be an act.
Yeah.
Because those people are paying you good money to be there. And like when you're at the comedy club, it's dark. We've had a few drinks. We're there lined up in rows. We're
Yeah.
here to see the show. But at the company party, I mean, everyone's gone bananas. The financial officer's drunk at the back yelling at people. People are talking, and you've got to command that room, especially as a speaker. I need full attention of those people.
Yeah.
I can't just have some guy chatting to the secretary who's trying to chat up next to him. So we have to bring the A game. Like it has to be
of
solid,
course.
worked out for a long time, and possibly even like it may not even be the most, I don't want to say the most creative or the most cutting edge stuff. This is the stuff we know that these
works.
people will work and get
Yeah.
into and make a good party. And to me, I don't have a problem with that because I know, creatively, I don't have a problem with that because first of all, I'm getting paid. So cool. I'm very happy at any time just to get paid. And secondly, I know I can just go tomorrow night to the comedy club and say whatever the fuck I want. And that's where I get out my creativity. And you can't do, I guess maybe with a when you're performing on a stage, if you only do company parties and private events and these, you'll get a bit stiff. You got to have some balance
Yeah.
between all of these.
Well, in music, there's no point. There's no. I don't care if it's a private event, corporate event, or somebody's birthday, or a live concert, or a public event. I usually do what I do,
Nice.
and recently I've been. At first, I started with the band. I was in the dark corner there with my hair covering my face and playing guitar, which was easy. And when I quit the band, because I played 10 years in band called Traffic, but I got older, and the drinking didn't get lighter or it didn't stop at some point.
Yeah.
The parties were crazy, and I was like, okay, I need to stop this, and I need to do something else. I quit the band, and then I thought, okay, what am I gonna do? And at some point, somebody asked me to perform alone with the guitar, just play a few songs at this private birthday party, and it was really hard for me to do because I was at the back of the stage, and now I have to be in the front alone with the guitar, and you need to feel I don't know, even 30 minutes was really hard. So you need to say something and stuff on the stage, and you need, usually it's not like you play and people are having drinks or something. Everybody turns to you and they want to see what you got to say on the stage. So it was really hard at some point. But then I worked on a basically a script. I have this book in front of me, or these lyrics, plus and I have these notes on the corners. Before this song, I'm going to talk about this.
Nice.
And number 2, if like this, I've said it already, then I'm going to talk about this. And I had everything scripted out, basically. And after that, it was much easier. And when I did it for a few years, now it's like I don't have any problem anymore to have these shows and to talk with people and to make them hopefully laugh or something. Or
some practice, I have a friend of mine.
Practice is very important.
Yeah, I have a friend of mine who's he's a Estonian guy. He's lived overseas for a few years. Plays guitar. I mean, in a band, not super professional, but he's played in a band and they've made an album and stuff. And his complaint, not mine, but his complaint about a lot of artists in Estonia is they're lacking that performer element. And like you said, you've got stuff written in between the songs. You talk to them a little bit. You share your personality.
Yeah.
And even if these are lines. Like this is an event. I kind of know what I'm going to say. It's not word for word. You're not reading. Hello, audience. Here I am. But you know what to say to them at each stage. And that's that special sauce that the event kind of needs more than you just playing your songs.
And it's really hard. I know some singers or frontmen, as we call them, or women. It's really hard for them to say something in between the songs. It's kind of like mandatory. You need to say something because people want to hear you. Like, okay, they hear the songs, but they want to share. They want to hear you share a few words or something. How are you doing? And every time that happens, everyone's like, yeah, he's like addressing me or something. But some people say it's really, really hard. And for me, it was really, really hard at some point. But now that I've practiced it, it gets much easier. And because of that, some people don't even perform. Or they perform like they do 3 songs and then they say, hi, how you doing? Okay, then this next song is this. And then they do another 3 songs and they don't communicate with the audience. And because it is hard, especially for Estonians who are so modest or something or closed, Sure, they don't show their emotions.
Well, let's say the opposite of an American who your average American's going to be big and loud and communicate.
But I've been there where I started a band called Outlouds at some point where I was the front man.
Was that very early on?
No, it was 2011 or something.
Okay, sure.
And we made it quite big, quite fast again. And I had no experience at all. And at some point, we were playing Lauluväljak at Õllesummer,
Yeah, of course.
At the main stage. There were a lot of people, and I was on the stage like feeling really uncomfortable because I had some wires here, I had some guitar wires, I had some other wires, and everyone was watching at me, and you have to talk with them. And it was like really we were like rehearsing for the gig a lot. We had all these computers playing these backtracks. We had a lot of sound guys, back end, front end. Everything was like we had these big microphone bowls that were lit up, and everything was built like, damn, that's a professional band or something. But when we got there, everything like went crazy. Like the sound didn't work. It was shitty. My guitar stopped playing, and everything was so uncomfortable that basically after that gig, I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore, because it was it felt weird, and I was not the guy for this, and I didn't want to talk to the audience, and so people probably can see at this point. Like they come to see the show and they see something's going on with you. You know, you're off your balance and you don't want to be there, or your body language says like it's uncomfortable. I always perform with a guitar because I need to have something between me and the audience.
Even with a comedian, we need the mic.
Yeah.
Even if it's just that, I can hide behind this microphone.
You can hold a, remote or something. You need something, otherwise you feel naked or something. I've done some gigs where I don't need the guitar. People say, don't use the guitar, or few songs only, you know, in these private events with other singers where I have to only hold the mic, and I don't know what to do with my other hand. And it's so weird. And I'm like...
Even when I'm hosting an event, sometimes I host a company party or a conference or something. I always ask for a microphone.
Of course.
And now the sound guys, I'm in a small Estonia. They all know me. They know what I want.
Yeah.
But at first, everyone's looking at me. Why don't you want the headset?
Oh, this is terrible.
This is terrible. No, I want to yell and I want to move it around.
Russians use this one.
I'm used to communicating and knowing, like super instinctively, the mic here, the mic is here, the mic is here. I'm used to having that.
This is terrible.
Oh, yeah. It sounds bad.
Your both hands are free.
Yeah.
What am I doing?
Hey. What am I doing with my hands? My only compromise is that at a conference, I understand I need a wireless microphone.
Yeah.
Fair enough. It's a big stage. They're far away. Because typically comedians, every single comedian around the world, big, small, Bill Burr, Chris Rock, to the open micer, they want a Shure SM58 with a wire.
Okay.
That's the only the only standard in comedy. Every comedian
that.
wants it.
Why?
I don't know. It's just the perfect microphone for stand-up. It's just great.
Yeah. Plus, it's with the wire.
With the
wireless, it may stop or something.
I think that's
may
a little
happen.
bit. Yeah, it's some voodoo in the mind about the comedian that it's gonna.
Plus, they can use the wire for the other hand. You know,
curl it around a little bit. You can put it in your hand.
Do this. Yeah.
And has it just become for us such an iconic thing? That's the standard.
Well, it's a good mic.
It's a good mic as well, right? Solid. You can put it in the bottom of a bag. It'll get chucked around.
It's cheap when you phone.
Cheap, $100.
Yeah.
It's still okay. And the biggest comedians, when we brought them to Estonia, all want the same microphone.
That's cool, actually.
Because that's easy for us. That's one reason. I used to produce theatre in Australia, and theatre is like, you got to have the lights and the sound and the dresses and the whole cast. And to me, stand-up can be a couple of lights, a microphone, let's go.
Yeah, with me as well. For now, I've been performing like for 4 or 5 years solo with the guitar. And it's so convenient for me because I've done some gigs in the last year with a big band, like only my gigs or something, where I'm the performer and we have this big band. And it's sound checks go on forever. Doom. Doom. And then everything is not like something is not working and people run around and like, is it my turn now? No, not yet. You wait. Okay, it's okay. And then these 7 dudes like behind my back when the gig starts, they all look at me, you know. Okay, do your thing now. And I feel some kind of pressure. I have to communicate with the people. I have to see if the band is ready. I have to see if everything's working. I can't play. I can't stop in the middle of a song because sometimes I do that when I do my own solo concert. Like sometimes some story occurs to me or something that I haven't told or something, and then I stop my song and say, "Wait, have I told you about this?" Then people like smile and laugh, and I tell quick story and okay, we go on. Where was I on the second verse? Okay, I start from here. And this is very and people really like want to see this thing, you know. This is very, I don't know how to say it in English, it's very humane thing to see.
It's
you
the
know?
Personality, it's the
you
character
see that
they're saying.
This dude is a human.
Yeah.
Sometimes I play wrong and then I stop and I say, oh sorry, it was wrong, it should go like this, and then they relate like this dude plays wrong as well, you know. But when you're with the band, usually these guys are super professional musicians, and when I play wrong, I feel like they're like, dude, you can't play or something. Even when they don't think about it.
Yeah,
it's what I think about on the front stage and on the front of the stage. And so many people around you relate on what do you do, so that's pressure, and that's weird.
You can't just stop because then everyone's got to sync up again in the middle of the song.
Wait. And they usually go like robots for the notes or something. So it's really, really hard for me to go on the stage with the band again.
Yeah, sure.
It's weird. If you go alone, you just do what you want for hour and a half or
that
something.
personality and character is important. We get that in stand-up when the difference between the material that you've written. So most comedians, if you're watching their hour, you go to see Ari or Sander, like, yeah, they've written out that material and worked on that. They're not just improving their hour in Venekotorikeskus. Like, that's worked on material. But the job of the comedian is to make it seem natural. Make it seem like it's... I mean, even if you go to see a play, there's a script, it's a play. That's how it works. But you're not sitting there going, this is a script. But there's a difference then between... Because sometimes, though, the performer is genuinely improving. Sometimes they are genuinely riffing off. Some thought came to the mind. Someone dropped a drink. Hey, you look interesting. I'm going to ask you a question and get that back. And one difficulty can be for a comedian is that if you get the improv or the crowd work right, it's electric. It's hot and people know it. They can smell it, right? They know that, again, you're being a human being. And it can be difficult to go back, to transition back to your material because it's got a different flow to it. And that's part of that. You got to manage that process of easing them back into your thing again. Yeah,
it's... I noticed watching Ricky Gervais, I don't know which comedy show was it, but he's drinking his Foster, I think.
Okay, yeah.
Do you know this one?
The beer.
Yeah. He's drinking a beer, and every time he goes back for a zip, his eyes are on the script probably, which is hidden on the booth or something.
Can't do the next
every
bit.
Time he looks at this and he knows what to do next. And probably these bits evolve during the show or something. You know, he thinks of something funny and he goes someplace else. But yeah, I noticed like this dude has a script as well, you know. And when you have script, when you're prepared, it works.
It's a bit of a combination in that probably what Ricky Gervais has got is just the names of the bits.
Yeah, of course.
It's not like a line for line.
Because I've been thinking, how can these guys do the same show next day and it goes the same and it's hour and a half or something.
Yeah.
You have to have like everything in your head exactly the same. So there's some kind of script somewhere.
Yeah, you've worked on those bits, definitely, at the smaller shows.
I wouldn't remember
mics.
like what I said 10 minutes ago or something, or even let's do the same thing next day. It's weird, I thought about, like, I've seen some comedies in Estonia, and I think it's really, really hard.
For us, it's the practice. And
of course.
For us, it was the... we understood that, like I was saying before, when we started Comedy Estonia, there's no comedy scene.
Yeah.
And we knew, okay, because comedy needs open mics. It needs this practice. We can't really just sit in a studio and work on our stuff.
Yeah.
It is possible as a musician to write a song in a studio, release a song that's popular, people like that. We have to be live. So we had to...
So you get the immediate feedback.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why people like, do the stand-up on the live stream. Like, no, it's dog shit.
Yeah.
It's no, we've developed, again, even for, we have some customers who are like, we'll give you money if you tell some jokes down Zoom. And we've developed a very set of material that will work down the Zoom and is nice. But, you know, we've got 15 minutes and that's it. It's very hard. So
because you don't have the feedback?
You don't have the feedback.
Yeah,
and
you can't hear the laughter.
Can't hear the laughter. And even my friend Carl does this really well. And he said it makes a difference because in Zoom, you can see their faces or not. You know, sometimes there's all the tiles of people. He said he wants that, even if they're muted.
Of course.
He wants to see some smile, even if it's delayed. Doesn't matter. It's some reaction helps the process.
Yeah, definitely. But for me, the hardest gigs or hardest live shows are usually... Well, people have asked me, like, going to the Eurovision, was that hard? And there was like 6,000 people or something sitting in the audience and another 200 million behind the TVs. And it's the easiest job because you don't see them and you practice a lot at that week.
Yeah.
But to me, the hardest gigs are when some kind of couple asked me to do a few songs in their living room. Like the fire was on and they were sitting on the couch and I had to sit there and sing. This is the hardest one.
Yeah, isn't that nice? I love doing someone's birthday party in their lounge room.
Oh, it's terrible. And plus when your mom asks you to play guitar at your family Christmas evening,
okay,
you know,
this
is the worst one.
This one I understand.
Then the sweat starts to go, and you're like, oh shit, I don't want to do this. But the big audience, it's like you don't. It's not that hard anymore.
That's interesting because you just told a story about doing Ölesummer and that being tough with all the things, but then something even larger on a larger stage wasn't.
Yeah. Plus
was that later, so you're a bit more experienced at it?
Yes, of course. At first, it's probably every gig is hard. But at Ölesummer is like because of all the technicalities that we had behind the show, and we had to like think of all the stuff that went on, and this is hard. But doing a gig, if I would have been there alone with the guitar, it probably would have been much easier somehow, because you rely on what you do, and that's it. You don't rely on other
2015. That was 2015. You and
that was
Elena
2011 or something, I think.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Wait, Ölesummer or
Ölesummer? Yes.
Ölesummer, yeah.
But Eurovision was 2015.
2015, yeah. I mean, it was you. Was that also because it was really just, even though it's a massive production, you're still there with Elena on the stage in a simpler setup, seemingly simple.
But I wasn't that experienced at that time yet. The guitar, me alone performing, that came later. Okay. At that point, I wasn't that experienced. But still, it was easy because we did so many rehearsals. Like 2 weeks before, it was nothing.
Yeah, I wanted to talk to you about Eurovision today because maybe people don't know. The last time we had a brief chat was when I was in Stockholm in 2016, and you were there as the songwriter of Play.
Yes.
That was Play. And maybe if people don't know the story, Azerbaijan has you heard of the country? They're in Eurovision.
Is that the international name, Azerbaijan?
Azerbaijan, I think so. Well,
probably,
that's what I know. I mean, I'm Australian, so what do I know?
Yeah.
At any time, the Australian word could be some racist slur that we've just incorporated into our words. So, okay, no, I think that's the thing. And they're very well funded by the state of Azerbaijan. And
because of the oil.
Because of the oil, yeah, sure. And great leader.
Yeah.
Great leader of Azerbaijan wants to have some things. And they were having a whole film crew to follow their girl around and stream it on social media. And this is 2016, so we were still like, Snapchat's a thing. And they didn't really have that many followers, but we had this whole production and they brought me in to be the host because their girl, fine, doesn't speak that great English. And of course, she's doing a lot of stuff. She's very busy. So I've sort of... Sometimes they would just be like, okay, you're going on in 5 minutes and you need to talk for 20 minutes. I'm like, what? I don't know. So I'm just telling about the day, you got to just talk on the stream for 20 minutes. And
so you had to show your face as well?
Yes, quite a lot. I was on the stream much more than she was. It was my stream, not hers. Because at first they were trying to, at first we did bits where we would go downtown in Stockholm and it would be like me and Samra going shoe shopping. And I'd be like, oh, look, Samra, there's a shoe store. Let's go inside. And we'd look at shoes and shit. And then I think what happened, and something you would know intimately, is the pressure started to build. And she couldn't, it was difficult to deal with that. The best of times, focusing on her performance and then having to do these fucking sketches with me. And so it became less about her and more about me just talking on the stream and being behind the scenes. So yeah, I saw you backstage there and had a little chat then briefly and I got a lot of so I've had a bit of that backstage Eurovision experience, and it was interesting for me as well then because I know that fair enough, I mean, RTV, they run the show, right on, I understand. And that means that they don't let any other media talk to my observation. Maybe it's not. Okay. My observation was they weren't letting any other media talk to the Estonians.
Really?
And so what was happening is like any other Estonian vaguely related person was getting Kanal 2, TV3, everyone was talking. So it was me, Marco on the cameras, and then I think Marek Mil was doing the choreography or the video choreography for Azerbaijan. Yeah. And they all wanted to talk to us because they couldn't get access to anybody else. Again, just my observation. I don't want to say that's
you mean
RTV policy.
You mean RTV wanted to talk to you?
No, RTV well, they didn't want to talk to me.
Okay.
But ETV wouldn't let any other media talk to.
Yuri?
Well, I think so, Yuri. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I don't know. That was again just what I saw from the outside.
Yeah, maybe.
And, fair enough. I get it. Business is business. Right on.
But that's not logical again, you know? You know, if you don't let anybody. But yeah, being on the backstage of Eurovision now, I've seen it like 3 times, I think. It's something you start to find out. There are people who go there every year. Songwriters, some songwriters write only Eurovision songs. Well, not only, but this is their big goal every year. So on the backstage, you meet these same faces again. You know, oh hi, yeah, I remember you from last year. Like how you're doing, and you talk. And then there's these new guys who come in, and you can see. You can usually see, you can recognize the new guys in the backstage. They're very important always, and they think they're really. And they're trying to enjoy every minute of it. Like, sure. Oh shit, yeah, what's going on? And some of them, you know, have you been there once only?
Just once.
Okay, some of the countries. They practice their songs all the time on the backstage. You know, they
you can always hear them in that room. Yeah,
you can hear them sing their songs. They go from point A to point B, singing their song all the time, and they're like, I want to do this, and they're basically these big sponges trying to get everything in. Usually, you start to hate these people because they sing, not that again, they're singing their stupid song. Even if it's a good song, they sing it so much that you start to hate it, and you hate the people, and it's weird. But these other dudes who go there year by year, they're sitting quietly at the corner, you know, doing their stuff like whatever, they're doing some music business, or they're making plans to get together and write songs, or there's these publishing guys who say, okay, what songs are you working on? And they're working now. They're not enjoying the entertainment stuff. And it's funny to see because some guys go there every year, and you start to know them, and you.
That's what I was going to ask. Is there much, maybe you just half answered my question, I'm not sure. Is there much for you to do as the songwriter sitting backstage?
Not really. Not for 2 weeks. So we went to Tel Aviv for 2 weeks.
Okay.
Because it's warm, and we thought it's
good,
partying, and I was talking to my wife who was at home with 2 kids, like, can I go for 2 weeks? Because I need to vacation and stuff. And she said, okay, go. And she later on followed me for a few days. We left the kids at home. But I found out soon in Tel Aviv, like, if you want to do something there, like work-wise or business-wise, you have to go there for 2 days or 3 days, actually. You don't have to stay there for 2 weeks. Plus, I was singing the backing vocals now, I remember. That's why I was there for 2 weeks. And Tel Aviv was super expensive.
Okay.
Have you heard? It's
No,
like
I've never
Norway.
Okay, really?
It's terrible.
Geez, you wouldn't think. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, it's one of the most expensive countries in Europe, I think.
Okay.
I don't know why. And it's so stupid. We ended up spending a lot of money, and we had so much free time. I should have been working at home or something. The experience was pretty okay, but next time, if it happens again, I know I have to be there for a few days only to say hi for the other dudes, you know.
We have
ladies.
that in the Edinburgh Fringe Festival, which is a big arts festival in Scotland every year.
Okay.
And it's technically the biggest comedy festival in the world.
Okay.
And we've brought our Comedy Estonia show there, and it's
in
great.
English.
In English, yeah.
Okay.
Estonians all
How's
do
that
it.
working out?
Yeah, it's fine. Our guys are great. That's the thing.
Okay.
Not to sidetrack too much, but kind of what we were talking about with the Estonian entertainment industry. Our guys are well drilled. They know they're professional, and they know what's up. And so they get to Edinburgh, and they're already a hardworking team. They know put up lights, put up sound, hand out flyers, be there on time. They're not some flaky artists. They're a good bunch of troops.
Okay.
And but when I go, I don't like going because for me, there's too much of a mix of business. I can't just be a comedian. There's business going on all the time.
Yeah.
And so I'm trapped between these two worlds of performing sometimes. But yeah, the odd thing about our show, you were saying, can the Estonians do English? They do great. But the odd part was the first time we did our Comedy Estonia show, I was the host So I'm the first one to walk out, and these people are like, oh, we're here, the Estonia show. Oh, that's interesting. We'll go see the Estonia show. And then I roll like, hey, you going, mate? Yeah, well, there's a fucking country called Estonia and shit in there a bit, and then I start making these dark jokes about Estonia, which we're used to, and people are like, you're racist. Are you a race? I think that's racist. So I'm okay, I gotta. So anyway, Eurovision, getting back to being in the bubble, because you were saying as well, like when you were there performing your song in 2015, that you're just doing it day in, day out, practicing, and that's what it is. You're hearing these songs, like those songs from 2016 are still burned into my brain.
Yeah, maybe.
And they're still.
I don't remember a single one actually.
Huh? Maybe it's different because multiple years or something. Yeah.
Maybe the one who won. I don't actually remember who won, but never mind. But yeah, it would have been different if I was there. Like, I think it would have been much different. Usually, when I participate, I don't remember like being super professional or something. I'm just there, I'm just doing my thing, and. If I would have been there as a songwriter 2 years before, and then on the third year I would have performed, I would have known probably much more what to do. And usually it's the mindset of going to this thing. If you want to compete, or if your goal is to win or something, it's the mindset when you go there to do something differently. You should be much more like in the present, I'm usually like this, thinking my own thoughts, and 3, 2, perform, and I'm like, okay, I'm gonna perform, and then I'm thinking like what to have dinner next, or where to have dinner, or what to drink, or what to do, It's like I'm usually thinking something else all the time.
But I think that must have helped you, because I saw so many artists that year, because not only are these songs, you're listening to them all day, you're listening to the third rehearsal, fourth rehearsal. Not only are they getting burned into your head, but everyone is analyzing every song. Like, the second rehearsal, she didn't quite hit the mark on that third one, but the fourth time she did better. Weird, yeah. And so I think they're burned into my brain, not just from hearing them, because every song gets analyzed down to the atom, almost.
Yeah, you have like, I don't know, 12 or 13 rehearsing days there. And every time they're analyzing, and every time the press asks, how did it go? Well, basically the same as last time, nothing happened, or...
I did my song, what do you want?
Yeah.
Because it's not,
But it's pretty cool. It's fun. Now that I get older and much more experienced at the field, it's much more fun to go to the bubble thing, to the backstage, to the show, to see what's going on there. Now some people, and now you look at those young kids who are still trying to act as if it's the most important thing in the life. Maybe it is, actually. Maybe it is the most important thing for
them in that moment.
Yeah. And it's fun to see, like, oh, you're nervous.
The moment that I understood that it was it's a production, but the moment it really sunk in was with the Azerbaijani team that year. And okay, it's a few years past. I'm not really telling, stories out of school, but I think our girl, Samra, she was struggling with the pressure. She was struggling. She was still quite young, struggling with all that and trying to do third performance great, fourth performance great. And there was a discussion with the production team about she's not hitting the note, or she's not giving it the oomph. And we know she can do it. We know she can do it, but it's the pressure, right? That she's not giving it the oomph, or she's not hitting it. And the discussion was, are we just going to turn up the backing singers? Ever so slightly. And because I was like, what? Turn up backing singers? It's her. What's the thing? And it's like, yeah, but you just got to make it sound nice in the song.
Well, it's weird. I think the person every team is lacking is somebody has to be beside the artist who reminds them, like, with the pressure building up, it's somebody should stop all the interviews and remind them that. Well, my friend Ago used to tell me that when you're on stage and you feel nervous and you have the pressure, then you have to think about your dead relatives, or you think about people coming over to see, like the refugees or something, and what they have to deal with.
Okay, yeah.
And you have your problem on your fucking stage. performing all these people. That's not a problem actually.
Yeah, that's true.
True problems or real problems are somewhere else, and they're actually real problems. So you deal with your little nervousness, and so it usually like, oh yeah, people are dying every day, and I'm here with my tiny problems, and I shouldn't have them actually.
It's a very stoic attitude. I like it.
It helps with me a lot.
Huh.
Even everyday or day-to-day problems, if I have some kind of a problem and I'm stuck with it, and it's some kind of a stupid problem, like whether to buy this or that, or how to build our own house, and I discuss it with my wife, and we're arguing like, no, we need to do it this way, and I'm like, we need to do it this way, and at some point, like, wait, people are still dying at the war, and we're arguing this, and so. Yeah, let's do it your way. It's not a problem. Like, it's weird. We get caught up with our own weird things, And there needs to be a person who reminds you that on the stage, even. And hopefully, usually people understand. Like, oh yeah, I have no problems. I should perform. It's easy. It's happy.
It's a very stoic attitude, actually, from Stoic philosophy. Have you looked at that already? Stoicism. It's a sort of old ancient Roman and Greek philosophy. Only because it's like from Greek days and ancient Roman days. And it's a philosophy, just reading their books that helped me get through the lockdown, because they say stuff like, remember death. Like,
did you need help getting through the lockdown? Was it that difficult?
No, in the first days. In the first days, when you're like, what are we going to do? How do things go? Are we going to lose all the money?
Yeah, the money was
going to go away. Is the industry going away? And I mean, it didn't take, I'd already been reading some of these books, but then I remembered, like, yeah, literally one of their things is memento mori in Latin, remember death.
Yeah.
And you're like, geez, that's dark. But remember death. Death is still there. It's going to could come at any moment. Don't worry about it. And when you die, nothing. So, it helped me get my thoughts in order, so then I could help the rest of my team and go, hey, we're all going to, we took some pay cuts, but we didn't cut anybody off. Like, nobody got dropped or no staff got let go or anything like that. And it sort of helped me. Well, the philosophy had one idea, which is just do the virtuous thing. Just do the right thing.
Yeah.
And that helped me, because you're wondering, maybe I got to fire somebody to preserve the money or something, or make this, and no, just do the right thing. And if everything tanks, it doesn't matter, because you did the right thing.
Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah,
so that's why I asked. But okay.
Yeah, during the lockdown, which was 2 months, was it, or 3?
2 or 3. Oh, geez, I forget now. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually enjoyed it a lot. Luckily, we had the budget to go on for 3 months, at home with my family.
Yeah.
If I wouldn't have this, then probably we wouldn't enjoyed it. But I think it's a very good, like, a restart for the thing, and you find out a lot about your family. Luckily, we enjoy being at home.
Yeah.
But some of the people found out that they don't enjoy the being together and the divorce or something. That happened a lot, which is weird. But it was strange times, but good times, I think. I hope.
For us, it was. I think it. That happened in your family. For us, it happened at Comedy Estonia as a team. We worked out. Okay, we're going to. Well, we
have a team. We have a lot of musicians.
Agency? Yeah, how was that for you
that
guys?
Have no money anymore.
Yeah, same
like
for us.
Sound guys, bass players. It was tough, but luckily, some of the musicians have wives that have jobs that pay money. And
job with money, what?
Yeah, and have a paycheck. And I know that my brother, who's luckily this dude that he can do anything. He did some other jobs. Just found he's not the guy who's gonna just sit at home and drink beer. Like, I can't do shit. I can't earn money. Like, I don't know, mom and dad give me money or something. But he just built some other things. He did some building, and they earned money, and somehow we managed. Somehow I think I spent more money during the lockdown than I do usually, which is super sad about.
What are you spending on?
Shit, man.
Just random.
No, not random.
Well.
We just moved into a new house. You know,
Okay.
we had some stuff we needed definitely.
That's
A lot of stuff we probably didn't need.
Okay.
And that's I'm still looking back like, shit, we didn't need this, but oh shit, we did a lot of these jobs around the house ourselves with my wife, which was really cool, you know. So like I'm sitting at home and looking my wife going around with putting the dirt and growing some grass, and he's sweaty and it's really hard at going with the tools, and I was filming and sending to my friends. Look, my wife is working, and I'm sitting here watching TV, which is pretty cool actually. So I found out that when we need to, I don't know, when something happens in the world and we need to move somewhere, we can grow our own food, we can do our own stuff, so it's fine.
Nice. Are you a handy guy, a handy man around the house typically?
Well, yeah, I'm. If you ask my wife, I'm really handy. But like for example, I started building this shed.
Good. That's good.
Yeah, but I ordered it online. You know, the Lego comes with,
Okay. Still
200 parts. You have to put it together. And it's a 2-man's job, but I did it alone. At first, I put it upside down. And with everything, I don't look at the script or what's instructions.
Planned, yeah, instructions.
Yeah, at first I do it wrong, and then I fuck, I need the instructions, and I see, oh, everything is wrong. I have to take it apart again. So it happens with everything, and still I don't look at the instructions. So I like to do stuff myself, but I do them really badly, I think. But okay for me.
Yeah, but you have fun.
Yeah,
Yeah, fun. It's good. There's a good story going
Yeah.
on there. What do you want? You always follow the rule book.
Yeah, no, you don't.
How's it been with I mean, keeping artists going through the lockdown was an interesting sound. I mean, you guys would have had it, we had it as well. How to get them? Thankfully, okay, we all had a bit of a reserve. We're all not just living quite paycheck to paycheck, so it's okay. For us, what we did, what saved us at least mentally, was this very studio we're sitting in. That we already had it set up. So we could just switch the podcasts, switch the live streams, and if nothing else, these guys had a way to get it out. I mean, with your not just trying to earn money, but I mean, your team, are they making more songs? Did you see a difference in the creative output? You put a song out as well.
Yeah.
In this time.
Yes, because I did everything at home. It was funny. I found out during the lockdown that I don't work enough. I'm super lazy dude actually. Yeah, with the money thing, I think my uncle said one thing during the lockdown. Well, people should, have the reserve. People should like collect, or not collect money, but they should put from every paycheck they should put aside because of these things.
Makes sense.
And I was like, yeah, it makes sense, but what he didn't think is like 90% of Estonians still can't put away anything from their paycheck because they get paid so small amounts that everything goes away every month. So it's really I think it's weird to say like everyone should have some kind of reserve because it's impossible. And with a lot of young musicians as well, or at least me, like if it would have happened 10 years ago, I would have been in a real shitstorm probably.
Yeah, sure.
With all the bank loans and stuff, and because I never thought financially like far ahead. I was living in a day all the time, and it's like it's weird. I don't know what I was trying to say, but
No, I get you. Yeah, I mean that's because when you're a young artist, that's
I tried. We actually tried to working online as well.
Okay.
Do some songwriting with this Swedish dude. We were at home, but it didn't work at all because we need to be in the same room.
Yeah, I hear.
And immediate feedback again. And I had only one job during these 3 months, or one paying gig, which was Telia wanted me to do some kind of a influence thing on the Instagram, which was pretty cool actually because I had some time to do it, and that's it.
It's definitely changed our minds about what stuff we're willing to do.
Yeah,
I mean, all stuff is when things are going well, you're like, no, I don't want to do that gig. No, I don't want to endorse that thing or talk about that on my Instagram or something. And for us, it's definitely brought out new stuff that guys are willing to do, and they're willing to go. Before I'd be like, no, a little birthday party. Oh, I don't know, is that going to be good? Now, like for that money, and certainly we try to keep a value for our performers. We're not trying to undercut. But now the guys are like, cool, I'll do it. I don't mind. Good.
Yeah.
We know that person doesn't have any more money. No problems. I'll do it for that.
Yes, and in Estonia, what's funny you said that we know that person doesn't have more money. You know, in Estonia, when people write to me like they want to have a gig, a private gig or a birthday gig, I can look it up from Facebook, and usually Estonians show their wealth on Facebook. How much do they have, you know?
Yeah, okay. Yeah,
and,
they're flashing it.
Okay, if you're driving a convertible and you're in Miami or something, then your price is this.
Yeah.
But if I see that something else, you're living in a, I don't know, apartment, 2 stores, you have kids and stuff, your price is different usually. Because, I usually price from 0 to like a lot probably in Estonia, you know. I've done a lot of gigs for free. I've done it for a few €100 only, you know, because sometimes when there's this family that wants me to sing some kid's song on his first birthday, and you know, you don't ask for, okay, I want 2,000 euros.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It's just they say, I ask how much you got, how much you want to spend, and they say, okay, we have like, I don't know, 400 euros, and if I'm free and it's convenient for me, then I go and do it.
It's a good attitude to have.
Probably, yeah. It's I think, yeah. Plus, I usually tell them like, please don't tell anyone how much you pay me, because at some point some rich bastard is gonna call me. But you asked 400 for them. How can you ask 2,000 for me? Because you're a rich bastard.
Because what I like is you're being thoughtful about it, that you're thinking and taking into consideration people's circumstances. Can I do it? How hard is it? Some gigs are just harder. I got to go to Voodoo. I got to set up all this gear. Oh, that's, you know, a whole day of my time. We're fortunate because in Comedy Estonia, we have a sales manager.
Oh.
Because I knew I couldn't handle that myself. And she's great, and she's very good now at digging in and understanding. Hey, you're the company, or I mean, if you're 20 people in a birthday, you know, just outside of Tallinn, sure, we can help you out, and that's a fun thing for us. We actually know that's quite a nice. We don't mind the birthday lounge room gigs.
Yeah, I have to sell myself, which is a bit.
It's hard to sell yourself. I think I'm worth this much. It's hard.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, I'm worth 2,000 euros. And they say, no, I think you're worth 1,000 euros. And I say, well, okay, maybe 1,600. and it's weird to sell yourself. But it's okay, you know. You do the most thing in writing. You don't.
Yeah.
There are a couple of old people, who are, you know, these who don't use emails. I have this birthday coming up, and this guy is turning 75 or something, and this dude is like this. He calls me, hi, I want you in my gig. How much money you want? And then you're, I want, I don't know, 1,500 euros. It's weird because it's much easier to write your
that's
amounts.
right. Yeah, that detachment.
Than to say on your face, I want this much.
Yeah, I want for me to come to you.
This is the amount of money I will do it. Yeah.
Yeah, I find
usually the rich people start to hustle. You know, they say, "Now I think you're worth this, and I want to come down." And people who don't have that much money, they say, "Okay, well, good, let's do it." That's weird.
Yeah, it is. Maybe that's why they're rich. I don't know.
Probably not, because I've had some freaking millionaires, you know, come down like few €100. Which is like probably their point of or their view of living or something. They need to get something off from everywhere. Then they feel, I feel good. But if they have to pay, then they're like this. You know, I don't want to pay the full amount. I want to get it cheaper.
You have to feel that you're as cushy as this sounds. You have to feel like you're valued, like that they understand the value of what they're getting, and it's not because one thing can be that if you ask for I think it's fucking 2,000, all right, whatever. And then they go, 2,000. And then you go, okay, we'll do 1,000. And then they go, 1,000's still a lot, but okay. Now in that deal, You think 1,000 isn't that much. And so you're like, oh, I'll just go to this gig for them. But they're going, oh, it's still 1,000. And they have this super high expectation. This guy better fucking do everything correct and, be on and that. And
then
like,
they start to say, and you say, I'll do 30 minutes. And they say, can you do 45, please? I want more out of the money I'm paying. Which is like, okay, I can do more, whatever. Usually I have this thing. I tell them my concerts are about 40 minutes to 2 hours.
Okay.
I've done a gig 2.5 hours because I was talking so much. And when I usually tell them, when I see that people are not listening anymore, then I stop and I say, well, thank you and see you again next time or
Makes
something.
sense.
If you don't listen, if you don't react to my things, and if they listen and they want to hear more, I can understand that, and I do 1.5 maybe, because sometimes these guys they pay you money and they have this birthday and they want you to be there 20 minutes. It's like 80 minutes, and the people they want to talk. They don't want to hear somebody there for 1 hour and 20 minutes. They want to hear you for 30 minutes. It's wonderful. They clap and then they start, I don't know, drinking or something. But then they're on this, they have to be quiet and they can't eat and they can't drink and they can't do anything, because this dude is singing too long, And the guy who pays is like, yeah, I want to get the full 80 minutes because I pay you too much. So it's really hard usually.
We have the same thing that people say, oh, I want the comedy. They've been to whatever Sanders hour at the theater and they're like, I want the hour. And we're like, no, you don't want an hour. Trust me.
You don't want
25 minutes.
Yes, exactly.
And they're like, what? And we're like, okay, 30 if there's 2 performers.
Yeah.
Because then at least there's a change after 15 minutes, some energy comes back. And now maybe, and like you say, maybe if the crowd's hot and there's not a schedule, so, if there's not a schedule and someone else is coming, you don't have to get off. Yeah, like Sander tells me, I did 40 minutes at that show because they were loving it.
If it works,
we're all having a good time, then it works, yeah.
And sometimes it's like this, they say how much you want money for an hour. You say your amount, and then they say, what about 30 minutes? Do you take less? And I'm like, it doesn't matter if I do 1 song or 12 songs because I come from home. I'm there. I can do 12 songs for you, not 2 songs. It's not, it doesn't make a difference if I do 1 or 10. The amount of money is the same, usually.
Makes sense. I guess because your time and people, although the worst, we don't get it as much anymore, but I think we got it at the beginning where before people sort of in Estonia got what stand-up is in their head and they could get the value of it. At first we were like, what? You want that for 30 minutes of work? Wish I got that per hour. Bro, come on.
You can try, man.
Yeah.
Come onto the stage and start making jokes, man. It's really hard. It's probably one of the hardest thing, I think, professionally. It's still... I have thought about doing a comedy myself on the stage, but... It's really hard. I sort of I'm practicing between my songs, I have some jokes, figured out already. I tell them. I always get, not always, depends where you are in Estonia.
Okay. Yeah.
Have you noticed it?
Absolutely, but tell me your experience.
It's in Viljandi, if you know near the lake. It doesn't matter what jokes you tell. People are like this. And after the gig, they say, best gig ever, but we just don't laugh or something. We don't clap, or it's weird. So the same jokes work differently within 100 kilometers.
They can be that different crowds react to different things.
Yeah.
We had a thing in the beginning of the early days of Comedy Estonia that people just didn't know how to act at a comedy show. They've never been to a real stand-up show. They've mostly been to the theater, which was good for us.
Be quiet.
People we know they were used to coming to a darkened room, sitting in a chair and listening to a performer.
Quietly getting the candy unwrapped.
Now, this part was good. We could at least get them in the door. But then afterwards, so they wouldn't, no reaction during the show. But then the Facebook event would blow up afterwards. Oh, thank you. Oh, it was great. Like, why don't you?
It's always like this.
Yeah, why don't you just laugh during the show?
Yeah.
Why don't you make a clap then? And now no one ever writes because, no one uses Facebook anymore. But people know. They've learned how to act. They know that they can have this freedom. So it could just be, audience education, for lack of a better term.
Which is hard.
Yeah, they're used to listening to the performer. Stig's coming. He's going to play his guitar. We like Stig.
And they're with their stone faces, and after that they say it's the best concert I've ever had.
Yes.
Or I've ever been. It's weird. But yeah. Funny, the money stuff. Mm.
Well, I'm glad that your company is going and that, we still... Do you feel like it's picking up, like the events and the
No,
work is...
I think it's going bad again right now.
Well, okay. Well, for us, June, July, August weren't bad. In July, we did 52 shows in July.
Whoa.
That's
a lot.
Yeah, we just did as many, open mic, so free shows by donation, and we just did as many as we could. We did our summer tour. We were doing, sometimes on the summer tour, like Vusu was 3 shows in an evening.
Okay.
90 minutes, turnaround, 90 minutes, turnaround, because the lineup... I think it was because all you musicians were traveling the countryside, so we're like the only ones turning up in Vusu. So people are like, okay, we'll go see Comedy Estonia. Yeah. But sometimes we've got multiple events happening in Tallinn, and we were just doing as much as we could. But I think as they say, the winter is coming.
Yeah,
again a little bit.
It's coming. It's getting weird again. Yeah, it's a bit worrying. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm already thinking about earning my money from totally something different, doing something totally different. I think I'm just I still write songs and stuff, but I don't know. We'll see.
Is there some? You have a Eurovision. You have an international reputation. You're an established songwriter.
Well,
is there something that could be exploited there?
No, I'm not an international songwriter. It's luckily we have these few songs that play around the world still, and the Goodbye to Yesterday. They're still playing it all around the world.
It's a good song, man.
People are still sending me videos and photos every day from all around the...
It's a good song.
Weird. It's now that I listen to it, I should have done it probably a bit differently, but that's like everyone thinks like this, hopefully. But it's weird. It's people are sending me videos like they're sitting in, I don't know, Albania at a hotel or something, and the song comes on and they're like, dude, your song just played in, which is actually it's great, of course, but it's weird that people are still listening to it.
I like Goodbye to Yesterday. Sorry. Yeah. I like it. It's very, it paints a strong picture in your mind.
Yeah, it's important when you write lyrics. Huh. So the people don't, if you think about clouds and wind, it's like people don't relate to it. But if you tell them exactly what happened at some point or what's going on, then they have the picture and then they can relate and they have this good vision about this song. So you have to write lyrics very specifically.
Because that's what struck me. I was listening to your songs just sort of to prepare for this.
Yeah.
And listening to Goodbye to Tomorrow, I'm like, not only is it a very relatable story that most people have some connection to, but that, it painted this picture. And for me, because that's what a great stand-up comedy bit does. Basically, a joke is nothing more than painting a picture in your mind, and then the punchline changes that picture, adds something a twist, right? And so I could appreciate them like, oh dang, this dude's really painted me a very visual picture in my mind.
And some of the my favorite comedians usually talk about day-to-day stuff,
Okay, sure.
Not like Larry David.
Yeah,
like his jokes are the things that happen to me every day, and I'm like, I was just thinking about
the
that.
Coffee shop.
This is and I don't know, Seinfeld, who doesn't like curse at all, and also his jokes are like about this stool, or something or whatever, and it's always funny, He's probably one of the most successful ones in the world.
He'd have
probably,
to be,
and his jokes are about nothing.
And that's what makes them relatable. Yeah. Appealing to everyone, at least.
Yeah. So I like these things the most usually, that you can relate. Plus, I wrote a book. I don't know if you heard.
Unfortunately, my Estonian is not readable. So.
Yeah, where I write about stuff that people think every day, but they don't talk about it to each other. It's even if it's taking a dump at a public restroom, people think about it, but they don't talk about it, and that's why they like to read about it. And they say, "Dude, same thing that happens to me all the time."
I do a dump too. I do a dump every day
in a public place, and it works usually. They want to hear what happens to them. Actually, the same things, situations.
I don't want to trap you here forever. I know that we, we're having a talk.
I have time.
We got time. I did want to, because I was listening to the three songs, let's say the Eurovision songs of
Yeah.
yours, and sort of thinking about the different styles, the first thing I've noticed is, to me, Goodbye to Yesterday, it sounds like the title of a James Bond theme song.
Yeah.
But Play sounds like it would be a James Bond theme song.
Yeah.
I don't know. Anyway.
I didn't think about it in the Goodbye yesterday, but we thought about the typical Bond elements on Play, like
Okay.
this dong 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 dong. There's some element. No, that was Goodbye yesterday probably. But yeah, with Play, I still think in my head, Play is one of my favorite songs that we wrote, and I'm really happy about this song because it sounds, in my head, it sounds amazing. We worked a lot of it, and it was the last song in Eurovision, I think, or second.
It was
to
a
last,
rough year for
or
Estonia.
something.
Yeah.
But in my head, still Yuri is like the best dude to sing it, and it's really I'm really happy with the song, but it didn't go well there.
Because the three songs, they're very different songs.
Yeah.
And I almost feel like, because I wanted to say to you, and I listened to Storm and it got stuck in my head, and it feels like a great Eurovision song. And I was wondering, does that almost sound like a backhanded compliment? Like, that's a great Eurovision song. I didn't mean it like that,
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Because Storm's got it. To me, when you
wrote
listen,
it for
Storm's
Eurovision,
got Sure.
it was meant to be on the Eurovision, and when we write to Eurovision, we wite a Eurovision song.
Right, it's got that
So
thing. It builds.
has this
it's got
thing.
that
Yeah.
Eurovision to it.
Yeah,
I'm like,
yeah.
This is
Maybe if we would have written it 4 or 5 years before,
Okay.
maybe it would have done better in Eurovision. I think because at that time this music was, people were already, it's like, oh, we've heard it like so many times.
that.
Maybe I think, but was it mine?
I think that's mine. I haven't turned mine.
When you write to Eurovision, you think about Eurovision songs.
Yeah.
So it's not what did you say, backhand?
Backhanded compliment. Like
No, it's fine.
Okay.
It's totally fine.
Was Goodbye to Yesterday, did you write that as thinking it was going to be an Esti Lau in Eurovision?
No.
Or?
This was actually written few years before,
Hmm.
and in my computer, the photo booth is full of demos, And when I thought about going to the Eurovision or the Esti Lau thing, I went through the demos back, and I have probably 1,000 clips there that date back for 10 years or something. And at some point when I found this one, it was only the part where I was saying, at first I tell myself a few key points, like this is a duet, a female and a male, and this is like this, and then I do the I didn't want to wake you up, and then why didn't you wake me up, and that was it. And I was thinking, okay, this is a pretty cool idea actually. And then I started building the song around this demo, and it's not a Eurovision song actually.
And maybe that's why it's nice. Like looking again at, I got some of that behind the scenes in Eurovision to sort of break them down a bit more, because again, maybe people don't know that when you hit the Eurovision stage, when a country, basically, as I understood, like the Eurovision, whatever people, they're setting up Stockholm stage or whatever, and they go, okay, here's the technicals. Here's what you got. You got this screen at the back. You got a floor that's fancy. There's 20,000 lights up there, and there's 1,700 cameras, and every team needs to have their own video choreographer. I even know choreographer and video choreographer who's now going, now camera 13, now this camera, now the backstage is going to light up. And things like with Yuri, he had that beautiful, the cards thing there, and that's one. But when I went back then and watched Goodbye to Yesterday, I mean, it was so simple and bold, and that really fit the song. Was that some influence from you, or is that just the team creatively?
I think this one was teamwork creatively. Of course, we don't have any money or budget for the show, so you have to work with probably very minimal budget, and then the idea is, okay, let's just rely on the song, and we just help with some camera angles, and that's it. And sometimes the minimal thing works, and sometimes it doesn't.
Sure.
Yeah, but on this end, I think the minimal thing worked. Yeah, but now the budget is getting a bit. Well, the Storm budget was crazy, but we have to pay it ourselves. If you want to use something, you want to hire some guys, then you just pay yourself.
I mean, it's not from whoever the Estonian. I mean, it's RTV, the Estonian organization.
Well, the thing is that in my mind, the Estonian organization ERR, ERR,
yeah, we'd say.
it's like this. You do this Eesti Laul here, and then when it's time to go to Eurovision, they have like, for example, they have 100,000 euros. And they put 80,000 or even 90,000. They put on their own team. Like there's a lot of people coming over, doing a lot of TV shows about the Eurovision, and they're filling the channel with these small TV shows about Eurovision all the time. So in my mind, it should be like you put 90,000 on the act and 10,000 on your team or something. You don't need. I don't know. There's a lot of people coming over.
Right. They want to fill the content. They want to fill airtime.
They
want to.
Well, it's logical. They're paying. They want to get the content. It's and people, when it's Eurovision thing, people watch it a lot. All the time. And that's where the artist or the act always gets left behind. Or it's like, if you want to win, you need to put money into it.
Yeah.
Probably.
It seems to be.
It's logical, right?
Yeah, I mean, even promotion and things seem to be a factor.
The promotion in Eurovision is not important at all.
Huh, okay. Or maybe this is just Azerbaijan, who had more money than sense.
Yeah.
That's my opinion, by the way, not his.
It's like this. Usually when you win Eesti Laul, there's this 2 months where people start invite you to TV shows and everywhere. Like you can promote your song. We have this Eurovision pre-party in London. We have this media there. You can promote your song, and then about 20 acts go there. They get some somebody buys them tickets or something. They go there. They perform their songs. There's some kind of a party. There's some little media there, which show you. But when you think about the coverage, like at the you can do whatever shows you want before, but during the final, it's 200 million. You have to get the attention there for these 3 minutes you have.
Yeah.
It's because people they don't know who you are. 99% probably who are watching the show don't know who you are, haven't seen you before at all. So it doesn't matter what you do before. It's those 3 minutes on the stage that you need to do your best, because people make the decisions based on that. And they don't give a shit if you've been at some newspapers or TV shows before. So there's no point of doing promotion at all, I think, in my head.
I can see a bit where you're coming from. Yeah, statistics.
Yeah, these work all the time. Everything works in statistics.
Like with the work that I was doing with the Azerbaijan team in 2006, and again, it's not really their fault. It's just we didn't quite understand all this streaming and apps, and as well as we kind of do the social media bit, as well as we not that we do right now, but a bit more. That what they had done is they had a big production team, professional crew following them around, but their Snapchat or their downloads were like 1,000 people.
Yeah, and you build the audience for artists, but these people you build are true Eurovision fans who only are there. I have like 25,000 followers on my Instagram, and I bet the most active ones are still the Eurovision fans.
Yeah, okay. Yeah.
From 5 years ago.
Okay.
So it's like, for example, when Estonian companies who look at your Instagram numbers, okay, you have 25K, okay, we want you to promote something, we're going to give you money, and this is the product. And usually I tell them sorry, but these numbers are inaccurate because most of them are some foreign Eurovision fans, and you don't want to promote your stuff to them because they won't buy it anyway. So instead of this, I have 17,000 Estonian followers on Facebook. So this works, and this doesn't work. So it's like...
That's smart.
There's a value on your fans. You can put value on them. It's So
we see that a bit with Comedy Estonia in that because we started 10 years ago with English shows. At first they were only in English. Even the Estonians were doing it only in English. And then eventually, because we had the weird
Must have been hard.
circumstances. Because, okay, it was me and Eric and Stuart, we're foreigners, and then Andre was with us.
Yeah.
And there was a weird cultural thing where would have Estonians come up to me and go, can't do comedy in Estonian. Like, what are you talking about? Of course you can. No, Estonians can't be funny. I'm like, what? And they're like, oh, and they'll go, oh, but the culture, or they go, oh, the grammar, or the something. And I'm like, what? Well, first of all, there's a comedy scene in Finland. So that takes they're even more boring, and they've got an even worse grammar.
And they do it in English as well in Finland. Some of the jokes are pretty good.
Some Ismo, I don't know, maybe Ismo Lekala is the most famous Finnish comedian who's made it. So, but if they've got a Finnish language scene, you can get an Estonian. And there was this weird reverse racism scenario where I'm the one going, no, I'm pretty sure Estonians will be able to be funny. And they're like, no, they can't.
Yeah.
We had to, so at first we started with English shows, and then naturally we converted people over. And this is a lot of the great work by Sandrigas, actually. Was being the first Estonian comedian that really popped, the first one to get it right.
Yeah.
And the first one to learn, I think, again, I'm a detached view because I'm not speaking Estonian, but the first one that knew how to manipulate the Estonian language in a stand-up way and to massage the sentences and the phrases and to make it pop in Estonian in a natural way. And maybe people hadn't just heard kind of clunky Estonian stand-up or something, and he made it feel natural. Wait, where was I going with this story? Something about English. But now, the fans and the Facebook. That even though a Comedy Estonia's head is a foreign guy, most everyone else that works with me is Estonian. So that means all the fans are Estonians.
Yeah.
So if we and all of our social media fans are mostly Estonians. So if we put on an English night, it's mostly Estonians. It's not the expats coming because our social media is mostly Estonians. And you end up with this it's the English language night, and there's the Estonian performer performing in English to the 95% Estonian language crowd.
Yeah, it happens.
And to know.
I've heard some artists sing at the Estonian show. Estonian artists sing at the or perform at the Estonian show, and they talk English on stage. Because, I don't know, they want to practice their English thing when they go abroad, And everyone's like, why are you talking English? Then they go, okay, fine.
We have that. We have one open mic every month called the English Open Mic. And because I was
maybe, I'm still, I've been thinking about like 6 or 7 years, maybe I'm going to come to one open mics because I've been working few bits, they're like tiny bits, but I still think they're funny, Plus, I what I figured out what was funny for me was I was doing the Camino de Santiago a while back. It's like 800-kilometer pilgrimage. You walk shitloads through Spain, and I met people there like around the world, and I met some American couples, old people, and we started talking usually, and they asked like, where are you from? And I'm like, Estonia. Nobody knows where it is usually, and you start telling lies about Estonia, like Eastern Europe, like all these weird lies, and people are still, they believe you, like, oh really, oh, and there's a friend beside me who's like like this all the time. So there's some kind of I think there's in comedy there's one character to be built in Estonia. It's an Eastern European dude who speaks English with a Russian accent.
Okay, yeah, that's funny.
That might be because it's what I've found out about myself is I when I go to abroad, like I went to Poland to perform with the band, and I started talking like Borat with people somehow like this, Yeah, and when we do this, we like this, and I felt very comfortable talking like this. I don't know why.
Maybe because it's a little bit of a character.
Yeah.
You build up you can hide behind the character.
Yes, probably. And I started talking like this, and Borat is funny anyway. But at some point you start speaking with Russian accent, and you find yourself doing some jokes that are actually funny, people, and you think, okay, I feel much more comfortable talking with Russian accent somehow. And
it can happen that sometimes I see that with new performers or young performers coming along and wanting to do a character.
But there are no characters in Estonia, right?
No one's really doing a character, no. Now, that could be... That could be partly because we've got strong influence from. One of the reasons our crew is great is we've got great comedians like Sander and Ari-Matti who are straight up and down stand-up comedians. They do really great stuff. It's like internationally respected style, super artistic, very clever, and no one's doing this. And we also specifically wanted to get away and not be seen as actors because we understand there's the old acting crew.
I've seen Jan Nusbøl. He's a character actor.
Absolutely, and great actor. Right?
But I think he also... These guys hide behind the character.
I think a bit.
I went to see Jan Nusbøl at some kind of a show where he was dressed as a woman. I don't remember anymore. And I was seated. Somehow I got the first row, and I can see this dude sweating because something is wrong probably with the show. You know, for him, he's doing the jokes, and some of them work, and some of them don't work, and you can see this guy struggling behind this character. And I've been thinking like these Estonian. Tõnis Niinemets, is he a character or he's not? He's just is he performing as an act? He's not a stand-up, right? He's doing some kind of a fusion between stand-up and acting and stuff. I don't understand if he has. I don't know him personally, you know. If he's a totally different dude in real life or something, is that a character he builds up or something? And there's this stand-up comedy, and then there's this performances or something.
You know what? Actually, the way that we embraced, because when we started to do stand-up, one of the first things we understood was, wait, there's no word for it. And
in Estonia.
Well, there wasn't apparently back then. Yeah. And we understood that we need to set the precedent for our new art form. And we decided to call it stand-up. Like, because I looked around internationally and I went, what do they call it in Sweden? It's Storup. And every country had every country had some version of stand, right? That stand up somehow.
Well, in Estonia, I've heard püstijalakomöödia. Oh, my God, that's terrible.
Right. And then it has to be a full Estonian word. Okay, I respect the language thing. But to me, the way we look at it is we go, those other guys in the theater, like you said, some fusion performance, to us, that's püstijalakomöödia.
Yeah.
But what we do is stand up, right?
It's trad. Püstijalakomöödia, it's a show. You go to a theater, you watch püstijalakomöödia, yes.
And it's okay. We take it as a compliment that for us it was very weird that...
But it's not stand-up.
It's not stand-up, right? Because, and I think they will even admit this themselves, and again, I'm trying to speak...
And there's this monoetendus.
Right, mono show. Yeah, mono show, which is similar.
Yeah.
Because even the rest of those guys, the big difference is they don't write the material themselves.
You mean those püstijalakomöödia dudes?
Yeah. If you look down the thing, and they list it, they're straight up about it, right? Like, performer, director, writers. Okay. And there's 4 writers.
But stand-up has writers, no?
No.
Only yourself?
Only yourself.
But why?
Because that's just integral to the art form.
Isn't it like you sit around the table and I have this bit, and you like change it a bit, or maybe no?
Not really. You might bounce it around with your friend, just you're joking around, and then there's but even with comedy, it'll be the extent of it. We'll bounce around the idea and you come up with a funny punchline, I'll be like, can I have that?
Okay.
And they have to be like, yeah, you can have that. So it's definitely, it's not a collaborative writing form. You have to write it all yourself.
Is that like an unwritten rule or something?
Well, written rule. It's the number one fundamental part of if there is any rule of stand-up, it's that you have to write it yourself. I didn't know that one. Yeah, that's what it's all. And that's
no,
what
I mean, of course you write it. You write it yourself, but you write it with a team. Like 3 of us. Okay, I have this idea.
Yeah.
Maybe try this. No. Okay.
Yeah, not at all. That's the thing. Even though we're a crew comedy Estonia, we're all joking around, bouncing around. Maybe someone would be like, hey, if you change that punchline a bit, some feedback.
Yeah.
But it's really
writing.
Just not writing. And that's super fundamental to us.
Okay.
And for us, because that's the authenticity that you wrote it, you're saying it, you're performing it. And then I feel like that's what those guys will never be able to grab, that electricity that Sander or Ari-Matti or Mikael can have, because they're still reading someone else's script.
Yeah.
Even if they contributed
to
it, or
someone else's,
still someone else's words, someone else's voice.
And you have to be a really, really good performer to hide that.
Right, and basically. You could be, Niinemets, as much as I understand, great actor, very respected actor, he can pull it off, right? He's an actor, he can do that, and he's a well-known guy. So for us, we took it as at first, it was weird because we're like, we're a bunch of nobodies. We're
Yeah.
a bunch of bums that no one's heard of before trying to do stand-up. And then all of a sudden, the most famous actors in the country are doing stand-up. We're like, what?
And selling out.
Where? When did we
Probably.
make it cool? We're a bunch of idiots that no one's heard of before. You want to do our shit? And it was a compliment, a bit annoying. Compliment,
Yeah.
bit annoying. But we also, what I was able to do is look at what happened, because stand-up grew in Sweden 20 years ago, grew up in Finland about 15 years ago, and I knew from their history lessons, this is going to happen. This happens, and just let it happen. That will eventually, the real stuff will come out.
Yeah.
And so we were able to just chill a little bit, don't worry about it, and now things are going okay.
Plus, if you want to... funny you said about, it happened in Sweden, Finland, and then Estonia. If you want to make it in some business or you want to make some money, you just find out the next big thing that happened in Finland and before that in Sweden, and then it's going to probably happen in Estonia. It's like this, you remember, you've probably seen these women or men walking around with sticks, No?
What's
It's
that?
some kind of a... It's like skiing, but without skis,
Oh, the walking,
Yeah,
the Nordic
walking stick.
walking.
Yeah. It happened in Sweden,
Yeah,
or probably happened in Finland, in Sweden, and then it came to Estonia. So you can probably project what's going to happen in Estonia if you dig into what's happening in Finland and Sweden. So it usually is like this. In Finland, it was hip hop music, like way before it happened here. So in Finland, still the hip hop music, the rap music is very big, and now it's in Estonia big.
They're very big. Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you go to hip hop fest? Have you been down there?
No, I don't go to concerts anymore somehow because very I don't know. It's just when you do your own concerts, you don't want to be at the parties. I went to
I
see
get that,
a few guys, at summer, and it was pretty cool. But yeah, I don't know.
Do you find when you walk in, you can't help but look and go like, oh, they've got that sound on the stage, the lights are that way. They just put the lights a different way.
I have to
better.
be drunk to enjoy the show. Otherwise I'm like, oh, that's shit, man. That's like, why are you doing this? And you did it already in the other concert, the exact same thing, and it's not natural and so on. And you're a fraud, man. You're not authentic.
Here we are thinking we know so much.
Yeah. But we don't.
I know all the things.
Yeah.
Hey man, I'm just gonna take a quick toilet break. I've got a terrible
Yeah, sure.
bladder. Oh yeah, Carl's on that one. He's gonna be. Is he at the one on Saturday?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Which one? I
think
saw
I'm-
Carl, and he was talking about Lasnamäe, where I grew up.
Oh, you
was,
grew up in Lasnamäe? No
Yeah,
shit.
pretty accurate. Everything he said,
Yeah,
which
Carl's
was funny.
great. Carl's one that he's great at those private events. He's just got like a good, solid set. He can connect with people, and he's just worked out, and he earns a living from it.
Yeah.
He's doing great. Like he knows how to be a comedian and also work the company parties. Just before we wrap up, I mean, it's been a while, jeez. But I like the long conversations. I don't know. I like when it settles in.
That's a long one.
It
the
is, yeah.
podcast. People to listen to it the whole time, you think?
Well, I think.
I
I
hope,
don't know.
yeah.
I mean, I think it's been a pretty reasonable conversation. So
Yeah,
maybe
yeah.
people want to listen. I like the podcast because like it doesn't have to have a length. And people can listen, not listen, stop, come back later.
Yeah.
I like that there isn't, to me, that's the podcast. Like usually TV and radio, there's a limit. You got to have ad breaks. You got to do this. And here you can just talk or not talk. And
Yeah, I listen to podcasts when I drive home from, I don't know, Vuru, and I'm alone.
Yeah.
And when I mow the lawn.
Okay. What do you
Yeah.
listen to? What podcast do you listen to?
Restart.
Okay.
These are about IT, I think, usually. And some TEDx, usually. Yeah.
What's the IT? What's the connection there? You're interested? Do you have a background?
I've done some things, yeah. I've been on Hackathon, if you know what it is.
Sure, yeah,
Garage
yeah.
48. I used to build a website for this music aggregation thing, and I'm interested, and I don't know, somehow at some level I'm always at the IT thing. I don't know why. I'm just constantly coming up with new ideas to make the world better, which never happens usually. But
Yeah.
now I'm working on something that's gonna maybe turn into something at some day. I don't know.
That's interesting. And maybe it's a part of you that most people don't know about, that you've got this element, you know, this guy,
yeah.
he's the singer-songwriter guy.
Yeah, because I was studying business for 9 years.
9 years? Last time I checked, business degrees are not 9 years.
No, around 9 years, because I changed some schools and everything. And the only thing I got, there were like, it was a terrible waste of time, but I like the bookkeeping. Like I understand what's going on there, and I like the statistics, and that's about it. And I have one good connection with a friend, and that's it. That's the thing I got out of university. Otherwise, it was a waste of time, because it's weird, because you study stuff and then the world changes. You know, you study business and the way business is done changes after you finish school. So it's a complete waste of time, basically.
I feel like we're seeing that. Maybe not in Estonia, at least education is still cheap. But we're seeing that in America, when the education, all of a sudden, like, why are you spending 50 grand?
Yeah.
You know,
it's weird, yeah. If you have 50 grand to spend it, you spend it on your future connections, probably.
Maybe, yeah,
That's
yeah, right. Is that the best investment you can make in your education these days? I mean, at least in Estonia. Okay,
it was not
still
cheap. I had to pay a lot, actually. I remember. And
did you go to EBS? Is that why it cost?
No. Because I didn't get to the free section, I had to pay. And I was during summers, I was working as a construction worker in Sweden as a illegal dude.
Oh yeah,
earning some money to pay the school. And I was building for 3 years, like.
No shit,
summer.
3 summers you went over there to Sweden and do it.
Yep.
Okay. Did you learn some Swedish?
No, because I was working with I don't know. I was working with Swedes, but they all spoke English, you know. Yeah, I didn't need Swedish. Plus, the guy I was working for is a Finnish dude, rich dude, and I was doing some stuff for him all the time. It was actually a very good time. I don't know why. Working on a construction, there's the thing you do, and you don't think about anything else, you know. When you do your stuff, you just build, and that's it, you know. It's like it's almost like a vacation, actually. Plus, like I said before, the Camino, the 800-kilometer walk, is the best vacation I've ever had, because you just think about how your legs hurt, and you think about how to walk 35 kilometers a day, where to go, and that's it. You don't think about work, you don't think about anything else. And then when you get there, something you just figure out where to eat, you find people to talk to, and that's it.
Is it a one event, or is it just a trail that you can go on any time?
No, well, it's done differently. Some people go like do, I don't know, 200 kilometers, and then next year go back and start from this. But I went like from 0 to 800, like 30 days straight or something. You just walk with your backpack, and you don't have a map. There's these tiny yellow arrows on the road somewhere, and you find people, and you just go. And it's the best thing, vacation travel thing I've ever done.
What made you want to do that?
Because I've been thinking about it for years, you know.
Okay.
And it all started. The hardest part was buying the plane ticket, you know. After
you
that,
mean taking the first step?
yeah, okay. I was thinking I'm gonna do it someday. I don't know when. And then I was sitting at home with my computer and was checking. Okay, if I want to do it now, I need to start from somewhere. I need to buy a plane ticket. Where's the closest point where I can fly? And then I found out it's in France. You start in French Pyrenees somewhere, and I was like, okay, I'm gonna check how much the ticket costs, and if I leave in 2 months, how much it's gonna cost? And it was like 150 euros only, and I was like, okay, that's not much. Yeah. And I was like, maybe if I buy the ticket now, I'm gonna go. And then I bought the ticket, and I'm gonna go then. And then I started like, okay, what do I need? I need some backpack, I need some clothes. I started doing the research, and I just went alone. And it was really good. You start walking, and at some point you don't know how to stop, you know. At some point, at the end, when you stop, it's like, what am I gonna do now? I just want to keep on walking. Plus, you walk at the most amazing places, you know. I don't know. It's like at some point there's this place for 200 kilometers where there's only this flat land in Spain where you don't see
it's like
any
a week
cities.
Of walking.
Yeah. Well, at some point there's only like 20 kilometers where there's no cities or villages. So at some point you find yourself. And I remember people telling like when you start walking, you develop friends like on the first day.
Yeah.
There was this Danish dude, like weird Danish dude, who became my friend, and we ended up finishing together. And at some point, I knew that this was the part I want to do alone. You know, I don't want to see nobody. I don't want to see anything. And you see, okay, I have this bottle of water. I have 20 kilometers. It's gonna be 5 hours or something, so it's gonna be fine. And there's heat, but it's very very soothing actually.
It sounds it. Yeah.
Yeah, and at first you walk. There's no civilization, or there's only, you walk in the nature all the time, and then you get to the first big city, and you go in, and it's busy, and it's some people are in Spain, they're drinking, talking loudly, and you go through the city like this. Oh shit, I don't want to be here. You go fast. And when you get out of the city, you're, that's nice again. Yeah, and this was where I wrote my first book, actually. Every time when I ended my walking, I just took out my girlfriend's or my wife's computer and I wrote.
Each evening or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You start walking at 6 a.m. Or something, and you finish about 2 or 3 because you can't do it anymore. And then you eat, you drink red wine, and you write. So
Nice.
I'm gonna do it again, definitely.
It sounds like the way to go. Like, yeah, because you're away from everything. The phone's not beeping.
Yep.
You've got that space, that deep thinking, that deep thought can happen in that time.
Plus, it's pretty cheap because it's an actual pilgrimage road, and there's these monasteries that offer you like food for and shelter for, I don't know, 5 euros or something. You get a fish, you get wine. At some point, there's this wine area. I don't remember the name. It's Chianti.
Okay.
You know Chianti?
No, I don't know.
It's a wine like county or something. And when you enter it, there's this small tap that has red wine coming out for free. And you go there and you fill your bottle and you drink wine.
Dehydrated.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's crazy and it's really cool actually.
Interesting. Nice, man. Well, let's. Geez, it's almost midday. So, we
I have to get going as well.
Up. We got stuff to do. But Stig, thank you very much for coming in. I really
Thank you
enjoyed
for
talking
having
to
me.
you.
Yeah, thank you.
Nice. All right. Thank you, everybody. Ciao.